Before you watch this episode of our cityCURRENT radio show, I want to invite you to join cityCURRENT's e-learning and online personal development platform called GrowthCurrent. I'm Jeremy Park, host of the cityCURRENT radio show and CEO of cityCURRENT. GrowthCurrent is your exclusive ticket to attend virtual events with global thought leaders, national guest speakers, and experts who can help you grow personally and professionally. It gives you access to success secrets, lessons learned, learning modules, and so much more. Being online, you can join us from anywhere in the world. Subscriptions are only $8 a month, or you can do bulk subscriptions for your team. Check out growthcurrent.com to learn more and to join us in our efforts to power the good. And now, on to the show. Welcome back to the cityCURRENT radio show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our good friend, our next guest, Shelby County Sheriff Floyd Bonner. Let's dive in. How are you doing? First off, Sheriff, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thank you for having me here.
Well, it's always a pleasure because obviously there's a lot going on in your world. Let's talk about, for starters, just geographical footprint, lay of the land. Give us some context in terms of what the Shelby County Sheriff's Office does, and then we'll dive into all the latest and greatest that's going on in your world. So give us some context.
Well, Shelby County Sheriff, we're a full-service law enforcement agency. We patrol out in the unincorporated areas of Shelby County. We do not patrol in the municipalities. However, we do have those, we can go into those areas. We manage the courts, the jail. You see our deputies all throughout municipalities in the city of Memphis with our fugitive warrants. Our narcotics unit works there. Our gang unit works there. So, again, we're a full service law enforcement agency and we do quite a few things.
Talk about what COVID-19 has meant in terms of changes, because obviously the inability to necessarily have the physical connection is a limitation. At the same time, though, you and your team have to navigate through that for public safety. So talk about what COVID-19 has meant on your end in terms of all the disruptions.
Well, COVID-19, I tell you, Jeremy, as you may know, I'm out in the community a lot. And since COVID-19 has hit, haven't been able to go out and I like talking to people. I like hearing what the citizens have to say. In terms of our employees, the employees in law enforcement and even our jail employees, we're doing everything that we can do to keep everyone safe, even the detainees in the jail. We're all wearing masks. That is a requirement down at 201 Poplar. We're doing temperature checks now and trying to maintain the building with social distancing. And that's been, that's an issue sometimes. It's guys that are out in patrol division, they must answer calls when citizens call. So, we're trying to manage that. We've had employees that have contracted the virus, and thankfully, all of them are doing well. We did lose one correction officer from COVID back in April of this year. Again, condolences to his family. But we're just like everyone else. We're trying to find out a new way of how to do things. Just like you and I normally, we would be together talking, and now we have to do it all by remote and everything. So it's definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm so proud of the men and women at the Sheriff's Office. We've stepped up, and we're listening to all the advice of the CDC and trying to maintain law and order.
I know that one of the other areas that has been impacted has been the recruitment, and you've been focused on that for a long time in terms of the recruitment, but you've done some things that have been a little more on the innovation side in terms of engaging the citizens. So talk about recruitment and the impact there, and then what you're obviously doing to be proactive.
Yeah, recruiting has been difficult. You would think that people are out of jobs now, and maybe we would hope that that they would look at law enforcement or corrections as an alternative career path. But again, not being able to go to job fairs and go to churches, college campuses, and things like that really has hindered us with recruitment. We try to get the information out to the media as much as possible, but when you can't have that physical contact, if you will, and people get an opportunity to ask you questions about the sheriff's office and things that we do, it makes it that much more difficult. We're in the hiring process now to hire some deputy sheriffs, and we're just really disappointed in the numbers that we're going to have to select from because we just didn't have a very large applicant pool. I think you've heard the police department as well talk about how difficult it is to rehire. And then with things that are going on with police reform and things that have happened in the nation, it certainly has made this job or recruitment even more difficult. But we're going to manage through it. And as time goes on and things, we learn more. We learn how to do things a little bit different. And so we're no different than any other corporation. We've had to have people to work from home, but we're doing well.
Share a little about the citizen committee that you put together.
I've enacted a citizen hiring committee in an effort to get the citizens more involved with the sheriff's office. I picked out 5 community leaders across the community that will be a part of our hiring process. So the community can have some stake in the people that we hire. So we have 5 citizens that will come in. Some are retired, former judges, faith leaders, community leaders, union officials, NAACP. We're having them to come in and be a part of our hiring committee. And what they will do is they will interview the candidates just like our assistant chiefs and chief deputy do. And they will make recommendations, or then they go to another interview panel with the chiefs, and the chiefs make recommendations. And so we compare the two, and hopefully, we'll get some officers that we feel will make good deputy sheriff, but some community leaders that will feel well that these officers will, they will be good sheriff deputies. So it's a new component. This is the first time we've tried this, and I think it's going to work. I think the people that we've selected are very excited about being a part of the process, and we're excited about implementation of the process. So we're going to see how it works. And then hopefully after deputy sheriffs, we're hoping to implement this also in our correction hiring. So we'll be going out in the community and asking people, and you don't have to have a title per se in the community. We hope that we're trying this for the first time, but we're hoping that later on that, we'll get housewives to, that would like to sit on that committee and be a part of it.
Talk about, from your vantage point, what it means to serve, the importance, and why. In other words, really speak to the heart, because we'll talk about reform in just a second, but I think it's really important to hear it, especially from you, why the job is so important for our community and the benefit that it gives individuals who want to serve, who want to give back, who want to have a position of importance with our community. Talk about it from your vantage point, just the aspect of service and what it means to be a part of Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Well, Jeremy, first of all, you must have a servant heart. You must want to serve your community. Now, yeah, sure, this is a job. It's more than a job. It's a career. This is something that young men and women are willing to put their lives on the line to serve their community. So when we do interviews and talk to candidates, we're looking for those type of things, characteristics, traits that are strong in serving and especially integrity and things like that is what we're really looking for. And I think that just makes an excellent candidate to be a deputy sheriff, because as you know, with training and the things that have occurred across the nation, God knows, I hope nothing like that happens in the state of Tennessee or anywhere in the nation. It's just very unfortunate, but you try to look for people with a huge moral compass, if you will, and they're doing the right things, acting the right way, talking the right way to our citizens. And that's so important. When I go out and I talk to our recruits and our officers that are already on the sheriff's office. And that's what I talked to them about, doing the right thing, speaking to people the right way, and treating everyone with dignity and humanity. That was one of the things that we talked about with the governor's task force that I was on. Governor Lee asked me to be on a task force on policing in the state of Tennessee. I was honored to do it. And that was one of the main things we talked about was not only the policies, the use of force, the duties to intervene policies, but also about what do we do across the state to get officers to get involved with their communities. And one of the things that the Post Commission will enact this year will be 4 hours of community service for each officer. And that's, I think, it's just a huge component, because we're going to require officers to get out of their comfort zone and go into areas that you wouldn't normally go, where you don't live, and see what other people are doing in the community. And I think when you can get that big picture, you're going to only be a better officer, because unfortunately for us, most of the time we see people, it's under challenging circumstances. You're calling for a police officer because you've been a victim, or you're having an issue of domestic violence. You're coming to court, you received a ticket, so you're not happy about that. So this gives us an opportunity to get out there and show the public that, hey, we're brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, and we have children. We have the same concerns that you do, but it's incumbent upon them to build trust in the community. It's incumbent upon me to build trust in the community. That's why before COVID hit, I was out every weekend at an event, and I just think that it's so important, especially when you want to be a role model for kids. I came out of Orange Mound and Westwood, and who'd ever thought that the little kid that used to run around barefooted in Orange Mound would ever be sheriff? But it's going to be a sheriff. It's going to be many, many other sheriffs behind me. And so we hope that when the kids see a sheriff deputy, they want to say, hey, I'd like to do that one day. I'd like to be a part of that organization. So that's why we always try to put our best foot forward. And again, being with COVID, it's really been challenging now to get out there. But hopefully this will pass. COVID will pass, and I believe it will. I think a vaccine will probably come in, and so we can get back out there and be a part of the community.
Give us one more thing that you want everyone to know outside of the community service aspect, which I agree, the relationships and the building trust is extremely, extremely important. What's one other thing that you want everyone to know when it comes to the reform and some of the things that are going on that side?
Well, as you know, we've been talking about reform. The county commission is in the process of trying to pass some ordinances and everything. But I do want the public to know that I am not against any type of police reform. I think these are healthy conversations that we need to have. And certainly I welcome those conversations. I'm willing, as you know, I'm very approachable. And I talk to everyone. My wife hates going to the store with me because she says that I'll stop and have a conversation. But I think that's important as the sheriff, as a leader, to have those conversations. And so we're hoping that hopefully down the road in the next week or two, that we have an opportunity to really have conversation with the county commissions and let them know many of the things that they're proposing right now, we're already doing. I told the county commission that I did not even renew my military contract this year, but we don't get those type of weapons that they're saying. And that's what I want the public to know, that we don't have helicopters. We don't have tanks. None of that is in our inventory. We have in the past received boats because we do a lot of rescue out in unincorporated Shelby County. We have received boat motors. We're able to obtain Kevlar bulletproof type equipment, helmets and vests and things, but these only save the taxpayers money. because these are things that we would have to have, to do our jobs, if you will. So, and that being said, I have no interest in tanks or F-16s or anything like that. And so I think the message went out that they were trying to, or that the county commission does not want the sheriff to have those equipments. And we've been filling phone calls and emails and things like that. We don't have that in our inventory. So that's really what I hope the public realizes, that your sheriff's office is not militarized like that. We do, I guess you can say we're a quasi-military type organization, but we don't have weaponry like that in our inventory.
I think it's important too to hear from your heart the fact that you are open to these changes, you embrace them, and you just want what's best. And you look at, you and your team, you're in this, you're a part of the community too. And so I think just hearing it from you in the sense of, hey, we're open to this. We want a civil conversation, but we're open to all of this. We're a part of this. We want this to be, best for everyone. I just feel like that open heart to me is so important for everyone to understand. And it goes back to those relationships. When they have a relationship with you and your team, good things tend to happen because you understand where the heart is.
Well, we're a Khalil certified organization, and we're certified in our jail. We're certified in law enforcement, our communication, our training division, and those things mean something to us. And so when you talk about, but Jeremy, it's never a problem with someone from the outside taking a look at your organization. We serve the public, and certainly we have no issues, no problems with the public taking a look at us. We have policies and procedures in place that we think are excellent. Khalil, we've been recertified again. We were just recertified. We had an unannounced surprise inspection of the jail maybe about 2 weeks ago, and we passed it again. And so all of these things that we have, and I even have an audit team within the sheriff's office that we audit each division every year. We go to various divisions throughout the year. And so we're checking and we're double checking and we're trying to triple check. But when you talk about police reform and citizens want to sit down and have that conversation, I welcome it. I think it's healthy. And then what you may have not known about the sheriff's office, you'll find out. And maybe it's something that we can do better. And if it is, I'm all for it. I'm not opposed to it. And we can come together as a community, and everyone feels good about it.
Yeah. Wrap up with your website, any other contact information. Where do we go to just be more in the know?
Well, actually, Jeremy, I'm glad you did bring up the website. You could kind of see it behind us.
I'm about to say it's right there behind you. Yep.
But we're getting ready to launch
Shelby-sheriff.org. So there you go, Shelby-sheriff.org.
We're getting ready to launch a new website, as a matter of fact. That slowed us, COVID-19 slowed us down with that. But we're getting ready to launch a new website probably in about another 2 weeks. We'll have a new site up, but we think it's going to be a lot user-friendly. You can submit vacation checks, tip lines. You can do it either way, anonymously, or you can tell us who you are. But we think it's going to be really user-friendly. It's something that our public information staff has worked extremely hard to get this done. But again, it's just another way to try to engage the public. Since I've been sheriff, I think we've been more active on Twitter, and we've got mobile apps now and things like that, just trying to be available for our public to be able to contact us. So we're really excited. Matter of fact, we had a presentation yesterday about the new website, and it really looks good. And so when we actually go live with it, we'll get that information out to the public, and hopefully everybody visit and see it.
Yeah. Tell them, since you mentioned it, the vacation check where your team will go in, and if you are on vacation, your team kind of does the drive-bys and just make sure that everything is okay. But talk a little bit about that.
Well, I hope they better be doing more than just driving by. They better be getting out and walking around their house. But that is a service that we offer. If you live in unincorporated Shelby County and you're going on vacation and you would like for us to come and check your residence while you're gone, certainly you can call in now. As I mentioned on the website, on the new website, you'll be able to do it from there, from your mobile phone. Even if you forget to do it when you first leave town, but certainly you can put those vacation checks in. The officer will come by the house and check. They should be checking all 3 shifts, and they should go by and look. And you tell us what vehicles are supposed to be at the residence, if anyone is supposed to be there, and things like that. You have pets in the backyard. People can leave their pets at home, and they have a pet sitter coming by to feed their animal. So, all of that information is vital to us. And can we get in the backyard? Is your fence, you have a wooden fence around? So all of these things that we need to know to check your residence while you're gone. And then you can leave a contact number with us in case something happens and we need to get in touch with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think there's so many things that you all do that it's important for the public to know, because it all goes back to safety. So once again, the website, shelby-sheriff.org. Sheriff Bonner, greatly appreciate all you and your team do. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeremy. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to the public.